Hey, what's up everybody? In this video, I'm going to review Festival Pooh from the Winnie the Pooh series. His ability description is clear zooms from the bottom of the screen, and this gameplay that you're currently watching right now is a skill level 1 game demonstration play with the 5-4 on. All of the gameplays that you'll see in this video are play with the 5-4 on, and that's the only boost I'll be using today. So let's take a look at his stats. To activate Festival Pooh's ability, you're going to need to clear a total of 15 copies of him off the screen. And 15 copies is considered on the average side, borderline on the lower end, so you should be able to activate a lot of abilities per game. The minimum score is 90 with a maximum score of 972, which isn't that great. You wouldn't necessarily be using Festival Pooh to get a really high score. And if you want to get Festival Pooh to skill level 6, you're going to need to get a total of 32 copies of him from either the premium box or utilizing your skill tickets. I don't think Festival Pooh is assumed that you should be using your skill tickets, so you might want to hang on to those. And taking a look at his skill chart, Festival Pooh does have 6 different skill levels. Starting with skill level 1, the skill range is going to be extra small, and at skill level 6, the skill range will increase to extra large. And this skill range is in reference to the thickness, or essentially how much honey gets dropped onto the screen. You'll notice that during the ability, there is going to be a little line that goes across the screen, and that line will go up every single time you level up the skill. And before I go any further, if you guys are enjoying this type of content where I review Tsums, do monthly leaks, go over the selection box, and pick up capsules, please consider subscribing to this channel. Your subscription is greatly appreciated. And if you guys are looking for a community of other Tsum Tsum players where you can chat about the game or ask for help, consider scanning this QR code on the screen and join the Discord server. Alright, so back to Festival Pooh. I'm going to cover all 6 of the skill levels, starting with skill level 1, 2, and 3. And the 3 major difference here is the skill range. At skill level 1, the skill range is going to be extra small, skill level 2 is going to be small, and skill level 3 is going to be medium. And again, the skill range is in reference to how much honey gets dropped onto the screen. And later on when I do the side-by-side comparison, you'll see that there's going to be more honey dropped on the screen at skill level 3 compared to skill level 1. Essentially, the bar goes up higher and higher every time you level up his ability. So let's talk a little bit about strategy and how to properly use Festival Pooh. If you are using Festival Pooh as a main Tsum, these are some things that you want to pay attention to. So the first thing you need to know is that during the ability time, the screen actually freezes. And what I mean by that is once you press the ability button, the Tsums is going to stop falling from the top to the bottom. So if you have any gaps that are on the bottom section, you then will miss out on the amount of chains. So what you want to do here is you want to make sure all of the Tsums fall to the bottom of the screen before activating the ability, or essentially just make sure there's Tsums at the bottom before you press the ability button. And then the second thing is you want to make sure that there are no magic bubbles on the bottom section of the screen before you activate the ability, and that's because the bubbles will actually get in the way. If you have bubbles at the top or in the middle section for these lower skill levels, that's okay. It won't get in the way, but you do want to make sure you clear the bubbles at the bottom section. That way you can maximize the amount of chains that you'll get per ability. The next thing I want to show you guys is a side-by-side comparison of the abilities activated at the same time. So that was the animation in full speed. I'm going to slow it down here so you can see exactly what is happening. So the ability animation is going to look a little bit different between skill level 1 and skill level 3. Like I mentioned earlier, the bar of the honey, or the amount of honey that's going to get dropped, is a little bit more every single time you level up the ability. You see at skill level 1, the bar is at the very low section, and then as you level up the ability, it does get higher and higher. And this is the zone essentially where you want to make sure you have a lot of Tsums and no magic bubble that will get in the way. And for these 3 examples, for skill level 1, I ended up with a chain of 22. Skill level 2, I got a chain of 25, and at skill level 3, I got a chain of 26. And these numbers are going to vary depending on how you set up your screen. If you have a lot of gaps in between the bottom section, then the amount of Tsums that you're going to clear is going to decrease. Like you see here, at skill level 1, I had a bubble there, and throughout the gameplays, there were some times where I actually had sections of missing Tsums. So if you have more gaps on the bottom section, then you're not necessarily going to get these averages here. Moving on to skill level 4, 5, and 6. At skill level 4, the skill range is going to be large. Skill level 5, the skill range is going to be extra large. And then finally, at skill level 6, the skill range is going to be extra large. Now, at these higher skill level, the strategy is going to remain the same, but it becomes even more crucial at skill level 6 that you want to make sure that there are no magic bubbles that get in the way. If you see here at skill level 6, I did have a magic bubble that got in the way. That minimized the chain amount that I got, or essentially I didn't maximize it. If you rewind the video, you would have saw that I got a chain of 32 with the bubble. Without the bubble, I got a chain of 33. So you want to minimize the amount of bubbles that are on the screen before you activate the ability. Again, it doesn't matter if the bubble is at the top section of the screen because it doesn't impact it, but if it's on the bottom section of the screen, you definitely want to burst them before activating the ability. The next thing I want to show you guys is a side-by-side comparison of the abilities activated at the same time. And I'm going to slow this down here so that way you can see exactly what's happening. And the animation remains the same where Festival Pooh will go from the right to the top, dropping honey from the top of the screen. And this is going to be the skill range or the burst area between skill level 4 and skill level 6. And if you take a look at skill level 6, it pretty much takes up the entire screen, whereas for skill level 4, it's roughly about half the screen. So these were my results for these 3 gameplays. At skill level 4, I ended up with a chain of 28, 30 for skill level 5, and 33 for skill level 6. So overall, Festival Pooh is a really easy sim to use and the strategy is very simple to master. However, Festival Pooh is really not that great for score, and unfortunately Festival Pooh is also not that great for coins either. So I wouldn't recommend you to spend your coins or even your skill tickets to try to get Festival Pooh to skill level 6. I think if you have Festival Pooh at skill level 1 or skill level 2, that's already sufficient. The amount of coins that you get increasing Festival Pooh skill level is just the trade-off isn't there. So it's really not worth it to increase the skill level for Festival Pooh. Now, if you are newer to the game and don't have a lot of sims to use, then Festival Pooh is a good option because Festival Pooh is a really easy sim to use and the strategy is pretty simple as well. All you really need to do is just make sure that all the sims are on the bottom of the screen, then activate it and then burst the bubbles before you activate the ability. So it's pretty simple. You don't necessarily need to mess around with any of the gyros or using very complicated strategy. So that's why I like Festival Pooh. But again, because the results aren't that great, I would say pass on Festival Pooh. But regardless, let me show you the results for the 6 gameplays that I had here. Starting at skill level 1, I ended up with 1,619 coins and ended up with 3.5 million points. So not too bad, but this result was pretty similar to skill level 2 and skill level 3. Skill level 3, I ended up with 1,872 coins with 5.3 million points. So that's why I recommend it. Even if you have Festival Pooh at skill level 1, it's already sufficient. And if you take a look at skill level 6, I ended up with 3,239 coins with 11 million points. But think about all the resources that you would need to spend on Festival Pooh, and that's why I don't recommend using your coins or using your skill tickets to try to get Festival Pooh to skill level 6. It's just not worth it. So if you are a collector, perfect, because you just need 1 copy of Festival Pooh. And if you're not a collector and need a good coin earner or a score earner, Festival Pooh is not the way to go. So save your coins and save your skill tickets. So that's my review of Festival Pooh. I hope that you guys found this video helpful or at least entertaining. And if you would like to see more Tsum Tsum content just like this, don't forget to subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for watching.